Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is showtime at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again, it's MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength, and by Grunt Style. We are glad you joined us here from Motor Racing Network HQ in Concord, North Carolina. Erin, Evernham, and Steve Post here, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. You know that already. We say it every week, a couple times every week, and we're glad you joined us here. We've got a great guest on our Sage Fruit upcoming guest list, Duncan and Trey Starks. A lot of Pennsylvania talk in our conversation. Well, there's a lot of Pennsylvania talk in the world right now. If you don't like Pennsylvania racing, you might just, shut down this week because it's Pennsylvania Speed Week and all things are well up there. Erin Evernham alongside. Erin, you doing all right? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good.
Lots of racing.
Yes,
lots of stuff.
Favorite time of the year to be following along.
Really, truly is. It is great, that's for sure. Let's take a look at our classic ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. I want to start out west with this one. Our old buddy Kyle Hurst.
Yep.
Quietly out there in the west. Well, he's not quiet out there. He's quiet. He picking him off. Picked up a NARC win on Saturday night in Placerville and the Sprint Car Challenge race on Sunday at Petaluma. Okay. Speaking of sweep, well, he didn't sweep the weekend, Kyle Denton, because there was a couple series there. Aaron Reitzel did sweep the weekend with the Artiquette All-Star Circuit of Champions. Won at Plymouth, Indiana, and Saturday the Dirt Oval. I am telling you, when we talk about, there are a couple of guys that over the last couple of weeks I've always been impressed with. Yeah. I'm telling you, Aaron Reitzel is the man.
Yes.
He is a rock star now, and he's going to be a superstar. Yeah. As this sport evolves.
And I feel like it's not just from the last few weeks. This has been building for a while now. We've seen this coming.
We've seen this coming. Objects in the mirror to all the other teams are getting larger because the Reitzel freight train is coming. Yeah. This cat is really good. By the way, Erin's going to join us on Saturday morning on our MAV TV show. How about the stories of Danny Dietrich? Okay. Now, Pennsylvania Speed Week has been hot or cold, but when it's been hot, it's been spectacular.
Yes.
It's been at Lincoln so far. Saturday night held off the blue car, Lance Deweese.
The blue car.
And if you hold off the blue car in Pennsylvania, you've accomplished something. Last night passed Kyle Larson for the win.
That's big.
That is huge. Dietrich, at least in Lincoln, is rolling. Now, he's had mechanical problems. Yeah. Said at Path Valley, he said he thinks he had a magnet on his back bumper at Path Valley. And had some mechanical problems at Williams Grove. Dietrich gets it bolted together and hung together, start Grandview tonight and everything. He's going to be a handful.
Yeah. He's kind of hot and cold right now. But hot last night.
Not last night, that's for sure. But when you take out Lance Deweese and when you take out Kyle Larson, I know he's looking for the third one. When the Gettysburg Clash happens in a few weeks, he'll be looking for Donnie Schatz. And, and we know Danny, he likes big game hunting. And he got a couple of them this week, and I just think it's phenomenal. Erin, there's two, we talk a lot of times here with our Classic Ink Screen Printing Embroidery Hot Topics. There's two guys that had incredible runs that didn't yield wins. Okay.
Yes.
Saturday night at Route 66, Dave Blaney, that to me is, I've heard, and again, I've established, I'm new around here with the sprint car world. I've only been doing this 7 or 8 years. You know the legend of Dave Blaney. Yeah. You know the legacy of Dave Blaney. You see the stats of Dave Blaney. Saturday night was Dave Blaney 101.
Yeah.
I mean, engine problems in qualifying, last to one spot out in the heat race, won the B main, started 21st, while everyone is banging the top of the racetrack. Blaney's down there just picking him off on the bottom, just finessing that car right straight to the front. Just unreal. That's Dave Blaney. And again, good guy, yada, 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 all of that stuff. Everyone knows about Dave Blaney.
Yeah.
But to see that performance is like, that's a treat that I'll remember for a long time.
That's cool.
It really,
sometimes
truly
it isn't always about the win as a fan. Sometimes it's about watching that guy from the
really,
back.
Really
hard
is,
charger.
exactly. And they was Parker Price Miller bounced off the wall with 2 to go and slowed. Had that caution come out. Well, we've been raving about Aaron Reitzel. Reitzel would have had a handful with Blaney. But it woulda, coulda, shoulda. Reitzel got the win, rightly so, and Blaney. And how about this one? Okay, Davey Heskins was in the B main, the World of Outlaws at Knoxville, raced up to a 5th place finish. How about that?
That's impressive.
That's a local racer.
Yeah,
running
an
against
underrated
the best, underrated local racer
made,
running against the best in the business.
Yep.
And rolling past a big chunk of them.
Yeah, some big names.
Yes. So how about that for Davey Heskins? I think that's fantastic Saturday night with the World of Outlaws. And, Saturday night World of Outlaws, Gravel upsetting Donnie Schatz. That tipped the world on its axis, too.
That was a good race.
That was a great race. It really was. So lots of great stuff. There you have it. Your Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. www.classicinkusa.com. That's classicinkusa.com. This first story we have is fantastic because Cole Duncan is, their family are family friends with Fred Raymer, and Cole took 10,000 big ones from Fred Raymer. In a couple of senses, actually, on Sunday night. And we'll talk to Cole Duncan in just a moment.
American Sprint Car Series is back for its 27th year. Whether you're catching the Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour at tracks like Williams Grove, Skagit Speedway, Knoxville Raceway, Lucas Oil Speedway, or any of the 6 regional tours across the United States, you'll find the ASCS Nation racing at a track near you. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. Then see the full schedule, track-by-track history, updates, and more at ASCSRacing.com.
The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is proud to open the Brian Clausen Suite Tower in 2018. Located next to the museum, it's a testament to the sprint car community's commitment to honor Brian Clausen's legacy while helping the museum sustain financial stability into the future. To donate to the Brian Clausen Suite Tower and help cover construction costs, visit bcforever.com or call the museum directly at 800-874-4488. Bring your friends by the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum next time you visit Knoxville.
Don't miss the 4th of July sale ending soon at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Stop in today and pick up 5 quarts of Mobile Super Synthetic Motor Oil for $19.95. Increase engine performance with Mobile Super Synthetic at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Danny Holcraver, and you're listening to Wing Nation on MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Thank you, Danny. Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Going to the Weld Racing Hotline. Joining us now is a driver that took $10,000 from Fred Raymer on Sunday night. Man, there are race car drivers all across America that would like to take $10,000 from Fred Raymer. Cole Duncan is on the line. Cole, you did it. Congratulations on that win on Sunday night.
Well, I really appreciate it. That was pretty special for us.
Pretty special indeed. And I think one of the stories here, and I'm not sure that everyone knows this, we know Fred knows everybody across the country because he's drank a beer with everybody across the country. But Cole, when we look at it, your dad, Rodney, and Fred are pretty good friends. You guys have supported every show I think Fred's ever ran at Path Valley. Your dad's friendship with Fred, you racing against Freddie, that had to make it even a little bit more special for you.
Yeah, our family goes way, way back, and I'm sure I could tell a lot of stories about those two that I probably shouldn't tell on the air. But
come on now, you can do that.
But no, we said in Victory Lane, or Dad said, we couldn't have scripted this any better. It just, everything worked out, and it was really cool to race with Freddie for the win there. He came out of nowhere. I think he started 14th or something, and had the lead probably 30 laps into it. But it was just an awesome race at Path. And I'll tell you one thing, that made it just a little bit more special is Sunday was the first chance I got to get a hold of Jason Johnson nose, wing cap decal. So it was really special to have Jason riding along with us for that win.
Oh, that's very special. Cole, tell us a little bit about the race. The track looked like it was hard to get a hold of, pretty slick, cars running top, bottom, middle, and it looks like I watched the video of the race. You found something kind of in the middle. How did you make that work?
Yeah, Path Valley is a lot like tracks we get in Ohio. You know, they get shiny and slick, and there's not a lot of grip, but I think it always makes for great racing. And you know, it moved around a lot. I found something in the middle early, and you got to be careful though, because if you spin your tires and in through the slick or slide across it, you can seal them up, which I felt like I did at one point, and thought I might have gave it away when Freddie went by me. And I was able to get the tire work back in on one of the cautions, and I think Freddie was kind of protecting the bottom because he knew that's where I had been running, and you know, it worked out. If I don't get that last caution, I probably don't get to him. I mean, we got lucky in that aspect, but I was able to kind of roll through the middle there and right on the crest of the bank, and we had a ton of drive and was able to make the stick.
Cole, I'm going to go a little Sprint Car 101 there because you mentioned something that I have no comprehension of, okay? Aaron's over here laughing.
I was nodding, and he was looking puzzled.
Aaron's raced these cars forever and ever. You've raced these cars forever and ever, okay? And I think I understand when you seal a tire off. I think I get a little bit about that. I don't know that I've ever heard about working that out. Describe what it feels like when you seal a tire off and how you can fix that problem.
Well, basically, you know, the tires, they get hot when you're racing on them. And, you know, if you slide across a really shiny part of the track, it'll almost glaze the tire over, almost get like a hard glaze on top of it. And it's really hard to get work back off. But if you can find a good part of the track, especially under caution and that, where there's a little bit of a grip or moisture or abrasion, you can maybe spin the tires in it and get some of that glaze cleaned off, and then you're back down to the good rubber on the tire.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've learned something. I'm going home.
And that the getting it worked off is the hard part. You know, see, it's easy to seal over a tire, at least when I was racing, but I wasn't as good at as fixing them under caution as you were. Obviously successful. Cole, you talked a little bit about your dad, or I suppose man talked a little bit about your dad before, being friends with Fred Raymer. I saw that Brad Doty put a tweet out there about how your dad is a very nervous spectator after being a former driver. Talk a little bit about just your dad in general and what it's like to have him as your crew chief.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just my dad; it's my entire family. You know, it's a family team. You know, my mom and dad, my wife, and my grandparents, and Jamie and Tyler are great crew members for us, and you know, they're a part of the family. But it's been a huge help for me. You know, Dad and I, especially when I first started, we didn't always see eye to eye. You know, I thought I knew more than he did sometimes, and that's never the case when you've been doing it as long as he has. And here the last few years, we've really been on the same page, and he's helped me not just coach me driving, but you know, he knows the cars inside and out, and you know, we work on them. Most of the time, it's just us two in the shop throughout the week, and you know, we talk racing and we talk life, and it's just it's a really good situation for me. It's, you know, actually both of the teams I drive for, my car and Eddie Neumeister's car with the Fishers working on it, both teams are, you know, I call it no drama. It's just, you know, we all have one goal set. We want to show up, we want to win races, and you know, at the end of the day, all we have to do is answer to ourselves, and that just, it makes it easier for us.
Cole, as I look at this, kind of big picturing this thing, running with the family team, Anthony Carini, a friend of all of ours, he's the PR guy now for the World of Outlaws, but just a guy that I have so much respect for, stated that he thought that you're maybe the most underrated driver, or one of the most underrated drivers. Is this where you think you go with it? Do you want to take your racing further? How does a guy do that? Or do you just kind of live it one day at a time and enjoy the ride?
I would love to take it further. You know, we all have that goal in mind that we'd like to be professional race car drivers, and there's very, very few of us that are. But we also take it one day at a time. You know, we go on to the next one. If we can make enough money to put tires and fuel in the car and go to the next race, then we will. You know, and I appreciate. I know Anthony pretty well too, and see him around the track quite a bit, and I appreciate his comments on that. But yeah, we kind of take it one day at a time, and if something big comes, fantastic. If not, it's not going to ruin our lives. We'll go to work on Monday morning and put a 40, 50-hour weekend and be perfectly fine being weekend warriors too.
Beautiful perspective. That's absolutely unreal. What's real quick? We're up against break. What's next for you? What's your next race? What are you doing this weekend?
Actually, we're running Waynesfield tonight.
Right.
I believe that's a fast show.
Yep.
And then probably back to Atomic on Saturday. I would have liked to have gone back to Port tomorrow, but I'm not sure if we're going to make that or not.
There you go. Sounds like a plan. Cole, congratulations on the wins. You won the Rick Ferkel race earlier this year, too. Congratulations on the wins across the board. Thanks for joining us on Wing Nation.
All right, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on.
There we go. Cole Duncan. How about that for perspective?
Yeah, that's
I'm telling you what, that just sent some chills because it's like we get up, we work 40, 50, 60 hours a week. We go race the cars. If something big happens, if not, if it doesn't happen, we're not going to let it ruin our life.
We're still very happy, yeah.
Man, that is just awesome. Hey, let's step away. Another guy that's enjoying life. Now, this guy, now Cole is an Ohio guy that stray a little bit away from home. This next guy is a Washington guy that you can catch race, it seems like, in every state in America. Yeah. Trey Starks, he leads the Pennsylvania Speedway point standings. He joins us next.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing. Sage Fruit has been a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the last 15 years and a proud partner of Wing Nation for the last 3 years. We love sprint car racing, and we are there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy, original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery. Located in Greater Pittsburgh, Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
I'm Sheldon Honshield. You're watching Wing Nation.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Let's go right back at it. The Weld Racing Hotline, joining us, I believe, from Pennsylvania, although who knows with this guy. He might have flown to Hawaii to run a race this morning and then back to Pennsylvania. Trey Starks is on the line. Hello, Trey. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're doing well. How about you? Still leading the Pennsylvania Speed Week points. Picked up the big win at Williams Grove on Friday night. Had a few bumps in the road, but still atop it. I guess the question I'll just give you is right back to the one you gave me. How are you? How are things going?
I think it's going pretty good. Yeah, we had a little bit of a hiccup last night, but other than that, we've had a pretty solid start to Speed Week. Still got the point lead, which is a good thing, but we're not totally focused on that. It's more about winning races this week. But yeah, been a pretty good start of the week.
Trey, you won the opener at Williams Grove. What does that do to help the momentum and start the week? You got 10 nights or so of racing with some of the best in the country, but you start off with a win. Just talk about the win and how that kind of set the tone.
Yeah, for sure. That's obviously the best way to start the week. We had a really good qualifying run with a quick time, went decent in the heat, and ended up winning the main. So it's really all you can ask for on the opener, and it really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I think the thing that fascinates me about Pennsylvania Speed Week is, I mean, you set aside Williams Grove a little bit at the beginning, okay, a big half mile, but then you go Lincoln, Path, Lincoln, Grandview. So you've got the short track portion of the schedule, and then you go Port, Hagerstown, Williams Grove, Port, Selinsgrove. Are you comfortable with both? Obviously, you're off to a good start across the board. Do you like that variety, and are you comfortable with once we get to the big tracks, you're going to be able to maintain what you've been able to do on the short tracks?
You know, ironically, I guess for me being from the West Coast, we actually seem to be better on the big tracks around here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of seemed like if we could just kind of survive through the short track, once we get to the big tracks, I think we'll do really well. So we got another short track here coming up that I've never been to. Hopefully we have a smooth night, and then we can really get going on some of the bigger tracks later this week.
Awesome. Trey, talk a little bit about just the dynamics. You run your family team when you're on the West Coast. Here you run for Scott Gobrecht and the team. Talk about the logistics. I mean, it's got to be challenging enough, but what it's like to work with maybe two different crew chiefs and now to run 10 nights in a row with this team.
Yeah, usually, I mean, like years past, I guess last year I got to go home a couple times. This year we've only got to go back home once. We've been pretty busy out here. Steven and I took off and went and ran dirt cups out of my family operation back home, it's always nice to get back there and get to run my own stuff and see some of the guys back home and race some of the guys I grew up racing with. So, but this year it's been pretty busy. I haven't really flown back and forth that much. I've taken some time off school so I can be dedicated out here a little bit more. We've got a little bit of a family business going on back home right now that I probably need to be paying more attention to. But like I said, we're pretty busy out here, so haven't been doing as much back and forth. But I've still been home probably 5 or 6 times since the season started. So it definitely gets busy for everybody for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and then to throw that on there, I've seen you race in at least 3 states this year. That's the part that just cracks me up. And we're not talking Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. I'm talking, I saw you in North Carolina running the McCall car, Pennsylvania running Gobrecht's car, and your family car out at Skagit along the way. But your answer to that kind of, okay, what again, you had told us this a couple years ago, what are you studying in school? And what kind of business is your family running out there that you're dabbling around with in your spare time, of course?
Yeah, when I'm going to school, I was going to university in the fall, but we ended up doing so much racing that I just was basically forced to take a little bit of time off. I'm pursuing a mechanical engineering degree. I've been at it for a couple of years now. And the family business, we obviously owned a logging company, Starks Timber Processing, but it's actually made a little bit of a transition into manufacturing. We're doing a little bit more manufacturing now and design and engineering. So it's all kind of dynamic right now. Everything's changing, and so that makes everything even more busy. But with the schedule we have, I try and keep up on it as much as we can. It's like I said, we've been really, really busy racing out here. I think we've got 80 some races on the schedule. So trying to do the best I can to juggle everything. It's kind of proven to be a full-time job.
Wow. I'm just tired listening to
stunned. I can't even fathom that.
Oh, gosh. So, Trey, what does the rest of the year look like? Obviously, it's crazy and busy with all that you have going on. But what are the plans? Run more in Pennsylvania? Run your own car? What is the overall?
From now, it looks like we're going to run here, finish the week out in Pennsylvania. Then we'll take off and run Kings Royal. And then besides the Outlaws coming through Pennsylvania, we take off for Knoxville for a couple weeks. Pretty soon it'll all be here. Then we go run out there, and then we kind of make our way back. So a lot of the same of last year, just with a few more races added in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because the business and everything else doesn't get in the way at all. Trey, I'm telling you, first off, I love catching up with you at the track live. I always enjoy visiting with you and chatting with you. Even more than that, I love watching your wheel race car. You just do an amazing job, and your story's phenomenal. I appreciate the time today. Continued success up in Pennsylvania. Good luck tonight at Grandview and then on the big tracks along the way. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
For sure. Thank you, guys.
There we go. Trey Starks joining us. Okay, so you wake up today, or whenever it is, you're listening to Wing Nation, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. I had to work a 9-hour shift today, and this, that, and the other thing. Just, it's unreal, the energy he has.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? He's got 80-some races.
Yeah.
That's full-time.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay? Now, he has set his college aside a little bit, but his family's running a timber manufacturing business that he's got his hands on as well in Washington, while living in Pennsylvania.
Well, and I like that he said I've only been able to get home a couple times this year, and then he's like, 5 or 6 times. I'm thinking, that's east to west.
Yeah, I did that trip back from Skagit. I need 6 months to recover from the trip. Unreal. Wow. I'll tell you, I've liked that kid the first time I met him. I think the first time I met him was at Carolina Speedway here running USCS. Man, I've liked that kid all along. What a wheelman he is running a car. I love the success he's having, and his story's phenomenal. His story's inspiring or tiring, whichever. Depends on what mood I'm in. Okay. Hey, let's step away. We've got more Wing Nation in just a moment.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
O'Reilly.
Don't miss the 4th of July sale ending soon at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Stop in today and buy a bottle of Lucas High Mileage Fuel Treatment for $3.99. Created to restore performance in high mileage vehicles, it cleans and lubricates fuel system components and removes valve deposits. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built, application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
Find Wing Nation on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and in the MRN.com Media Center.
Welcome back. It is MRN's Wing Nation here, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Erin and I are just talking. I mean, you want to talk about Cole Duncan and Trey Starks, two just great young men, grounded, humble, hardworking, families, appreciative,
respectful.
Yeah, just the list of all of these qualities just goes on and on and on. By the way, they both can wheel the heck out of a race car too. Great stuff. Hey, a lot of times at this point we talk about the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Of course, they're gearing up for lots of fun out there over Knoxville Nationals Week, and we'll talk about that as we get closer. We talk about the birthday calendar. Wednesday, Bill Horstmeyer would have been his birthday. Thursday, Jay Drake. Saturday, and we'll talk a little bit about this on Thursday as well. Saturday would have been the 42nd birthday of Jason Johnson. Al Cotton Farmer. Sunday, the birthday of Jack Hewitt. But this one here jumped off at me, and I guess I did not know this. Friday is the birthday of Don Mack. Okay, Don was born in 1939 in Grand Forks, North Dakota. 20 years old, like so many other people, young lads, went to a race and got hooked. Bought a B-Mod, then moved to Super Modified. For 18 years, he partnered with Doug Howell, the number 4 car. We met Doug Howell when we were at Jackson. That's Lee Gross's grandfather.
Yep.
And it's the same car, the same number 4. I was looking at pictures of Don Mack's car from the 60s, and it's the same number 4 that Lee Gross is driving now. And then in 1980, they decided they're going World of Outlaw races. And I think Doug might have told us this. We did an interview with him at AGCO. And I think he might have told us this. They ran 31 races and top 5 in points. And in May, Don says, I'm retired. He always said he was going to retire by 40, and he retired in May, and he turned 40 in July.
Wow.
And so he retired, but he wasn't done. Now he's one of the managing partners at River Cities, which River Cities, you want to talk about one of the great tracks in the country.
Oh, I love that place.
Don is a managing partner there. He's a 2001 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. I'm telling you, folks, that Sprint Car Hall of Fame, the stories like Don Mack are unreal. And how they they inspire. They really do. So located turn number 2 at the famed Marion County Fairgrounds, Knoxville Raceway, SprintCarHof.com. Coming up, our aggressive hydraulic upcoming calendar. Can't wait for this one on Thursday. We're going to talk to Brad Doty about the state of the sport. It's July. We're midway through. The month of money is coming up, and the month of money kicks off with a Brad Doty Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's watching the weather apps, I'll guarantee you that, and doing all of the stuff that promoters do along the way. And then on Saturday, Erin Reitzel joins us on our Wing Nation program, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. That's 8:30 and 11:30 on Saturday morning. I want to point out wingnation.com. We've got a lot of stuff on there. Man, I had fun Saturday night. I talked to Paul McMahon about a heart rate monitor he's wearing.
Yeah.
And just phenomenal stuff. Just great stuff on there. So www.wingednation.com. Hey, we appreciate Appreciate, who are they? Trey Starks and Cole Duncan for joining us. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here today.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Wing Nation can be found on demand at mrn.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.